All right, it says we're live, but I don't see it live on the YouTube channel. And we're going to have to, of course, I guess it all depends on the delay. Oh, yeah, we've got a, oh. All right. Yes, sir, Bob. We are up and we're running. Welcome to Sunday, February 26th, 2017. Yes, sir, Bob. We're here finally. Oh my goodness, lordy. Did I have some problem yesterday? I couldn't get the friggin' thing. Like everything would load like it's supposed to. But then it would hit 99% and it wouldn't let me hit the start button. It didn't want to work. Didn't want to work. I tried. An hour later, I just said, fuck it. We're not trying anymore. Yes, sir, Bob, we're here. All right. So, quick shout out and hello to everyone. We've got a few people in the live chat right now. John, Michael, and Delta. Thanks for joining us, and for anyone else that may join us shortly, or who have already joined us. That's only 3, 4. We've got the Truth Hurts. Welcome. We've got like 19 people in right now. So, welcome to everybody. Yes, sir, Bob. We are live. It is 1 minute after 1 on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here in sunny Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Although you can't tell by what's behind me here because, we just got the guinea pig back there. I don't know, whatever. It's there somewhere. Yeah, let me just get stuff organized here. I'm kind of, I won't say unprepared here. I don't even know why. I don't need that one up. What do I get that one up for? Let's not put that one up just yet because we're not taking calls just yet. Welcome to Nathan, Dan, 0 cents per mile, dude. Richard, John, Rob, Nathan. Welcome. My gosh, this is awesome. We love it. So, last week was a success, I think. We didn't really have much going on as far as the show goes, but this week, let's get right into it. And we're going to start off this week by the weather. I know it's kind of screwed up. We do actually need that window. What the hell am I talking about? How the heck am I going to do this again? I have no idea. Screen share. There we go. Let's go to the weather map. Oh, I got to press the share button. There we go. All right, so let's just take a quick look around the country. Other than looking outside your window, what you see is what you get. People around different parts of the country, east to west, west to east, whatever. Looks like the northern U.S. is in Vancouver and whatnot. It's got some rain going on over there with some mixed in snow. So that tells me the temperatures are at a point where you might run into some freezing rain. So guys, be careful out there driving. Mixed bag down southern U.S., California, San Diego area. Got some storms happening around there. Wichita, Kansas City. You got some crap happening out there by the looks of it. Up in the northern part of Montana, a little bit going on there. Some snowfall, as to be expected. Calgary looks like it's getting hit. Medicine Hat going across the prairies. Winnipeg, I thought I saw something going on in Winnipeg, but I could be wrong. Oh, let's hit the play button so we can see what's going on here. The stuff is moving across, and I think Calgary is going to be getting something up here in Calgary. I thought Winnipeg was getting something, but maybe not. Stuff is slowly moving towards Winnipeg, or Winterpeg, as we like to call her. And of course, the typical spots coming off the lakes are going to get some crap going on here. So as you guys can see, winter's not over yet, guys. This is all snow in the northern area here. We've had the mild temperatures, but don't let it fool you. Quebec City's getting hit. South, northern New York, Buffalo. That is normal. I mean, stuff coming off the lake there. It's in the snow belt. You're going to get hit. New Brunswick's getting some good stuff coming in. Mix between rain and snow. Look at this out in friggin' Newfoundland. Eastern part of Newfoundland just got hammered with some serious rain and shit here. So I can imagine it's a little bit of a wet area down there. And of course, our friends to the south. Looks like Texas is pretty clear as usual. My favorite spot, Laredo. Nothing. Look at that. Beautiful. Florida. Beautiful. You lucky bastards. A little bit off the coast of Florida there by the looks of it. Temperatures, I'm not even going to shoot you any temperatures. Why? Because I don't know them. So like I said, stick your head out the window. What you see is what you get. But you can see there's a little bit happening across both Canada and the US right now. Not, nothing big. I can't show you anything in Europe for my European peoples because it's not showing there. So, yeah. So we're just showing for here. North America. Apologize to my Europeanites, if you will. All right. So enough of the weather. Let's get back out of this and go back to my ugly face. There we go. So how's everyone's week been? You guys been doing good? We already closed out on that tab. Hopefully you're all doing good. Let me get back to my chat over here. I should do the pop out on the chat here. Let's do pop out. And we'll put this window over here. We'll put the chat. You guys have no clue what the hell I'm talking about. Let's get back to our list. Oh, John Lee from Norway. Hello. Sorry, I couldn't give you any weather for Norway. What's it like? Look outside. Let me know. And then we'll tell everyone. Nathan BGT. Who's BGT? But I'm going to guess you meant the R. 38 outside here. We don't know where here is. If you tell us where here is, then I can shoot that temperature up. Let it rain in Ontario, California. Rinse the stink off the parking lot. Yeah. That's one thing that always drove me nuts. California's so hot. Any place in the South, Texas, Florida, any of the southern states, and you get into some of these truck stops, and oh my freaking Lord, did they stink. I'd get into a dirt parking lot, and in the middle of the night, you got to take a leak, and you don't want to walk all the way in the truck stop or whatever, and you go out and you squirt the dirt. Get between the tires, squirt the dirt, literally the dirt. That's not so bad. But guys, concrete parking lots, where's the pee gonna go? Where's your piss gonna go? Nowhere. It's gonna sit on the freaking asphalt, and then when it gets hot out the next day, it's all gonna dry to that asphalt, and guess what? That's all you smell is piss, man. It's so disgusting. So I was making a list of places not to go because of the stench. You're better off finding, old mom and pop gravel parking lot friggin' truck stops because they didn't stink as bad. Let's see, 58 in Texas. Wow, that's pretty cool, man. That must be northern Texas. Mary says, hey, from Kentucky, 72 on Thursday, and yesterday, 33 degrees. Wow, that's quite the swing, man. I know it's been crazy here. We went from the minuses in the Celsius up to double-digit pluses here. And, of course, it's going to drop back down. So, winter's not over, guys. So make sure you guys don't put your winter crap away just yet. And don't take it for granted that the roads aren't going to be slick because, you could still have those slick spots out there. So enough with the weather. Let's talk about what's in the news and what we're going to be doing with this show. I've got so many plans and ideas that I want to do. What works and what doesn't work is going to be entirely up to you guys, what you like and what you don't like. So, viewer participation is going to be huge on this, guys. Not only just in the chat and whatnot, but send me messages, put comments in after the video's over and we put the replay on. Just because I can't bring the chat back up, I don't think. I might be able to if I go in through my thingy and do this and that and the other thing. But either way, guys, I want suggestions, ideas. What is it do you like about the show? What segments do you like that at the beginning here where I just went over the weather map there quickly with you guys? Nothing prolonged, nothing, great. We want to try to bring in some other stuff too, to, news and whatnot for you guys. So the first half of the show is going to be about, some stories and things like that. And I'll raise a few topics and then, the second half, you guys will be able to chime in. 65 in Midland, Texas, 46 degrees in southeast Iowa. Wow, we got quite the temperature swings across the country, don't we? Where I am in Norway, it is -1 Celsius, a bit over 1 meter with snow. Wow, that's pretty damn good. -1's not bad. I mean, here we were plus, I can't remember now, +6, +7 Celsius. No, actually, no, it was cool today. It was -1, -2. I think tomorrow's going up to plus, and yesterday was up. And the day before, it was like freaking 10 degrees. Like, it was ridiculous. So much snow is melting. It's crazy. Bob the Crazy Canadian says, hello. Beast Mode says, hello. I just shouted you out, Beast Mode. There you go. So, anyways, yeah, we're doing great. A little bit better week for me. Not complaining too much, a little bit of aches and pains and whatnot. But hey, that's to be expected, right? Especially when you're fat, short, and ugly like me and you don't go out and do much. -13 in Edmonton, Duffy says. Ooh, you guys got it cold out there today. 56 in Tulsa. Great. 85 Friday. Oh, that's quite the temperature swing. Anyways, so guys, let's talk about what's in the news. A lot of interesting stuff happening recently in the news. I can't remember the exact date of this. It was posted on February 24th, this particular story. I'm just going to open it up. And this is like one of these duh stories, okay? Let's share this and get this on the screen for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Is it coming up? Let's see. There it is. Okay. So NASA engineer says CBBT wind restriction scale needs an update. You think? I mean, why does it always have to take something bad to happen before they go, oh, well, maybe we should change this and fix it? Okay, look at the picture. This is huge, wide open area. Okay, it's water. There's always going to be wind. It's going to be crazy across here. I mean, I don't know 100% of the particulars here. Let's just see. After the death, 47-year-old trucker, rest in peace, Joseph Chen. 52-year-old wind restriction system. I mean, come on, guys. Do we think this is a little bit outdated? And okay, it's one truck that went over, and everyone else made it across. But this just brings up the point, guys. When it's windy out, you guys really got to look at your routing, where you're going. Those of you that are in the open prairies, farmland area where there's going to be big open fields and stuff, no windbreaks. If there's no windbreak, man, you could get slammed. So, paying attention to the weather isn't just about rain or snow, ice, and all that other crap. You got to look at the winds. I don't know how many times I've, come back up to the northern border here to cross into Canada where the bridge would be shut down to vehicles under a certain weight and certain height. I've had it many times where, the guys that are running empty or under 25,000 pounds, 30,000 pounds in the box were not allowed to cross the bridge because of the high wind advisories. And I think this is just pretty sad that the bridge authority here, with the high winds, didn't shut it down to trucks earlier to prevent this. So, I mean, I know they have a scale that they go by. Let's see. Wood specifically says that the current distinction between the level 1, 40 to 46 mile per hour wind, 46, I can't even speak, and level 2 restrictions need reworking. So if the wind is blowing at 46 mile per hour, you're allowed to cross with no weight, but at 47, you need 30,000 pounds. See, that's just freaking stupid. Anyways, whatever. Yeah, they got to look at it. These trucks are built lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter in these trailers and shit. And, you see it all the time, trucks getting blown over. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is not the fact that, okay, this poor bastard lost his life because of the wind, and we can't even blame the driver because it doesn't matter how fast or slow you're going. If you get hit by a wind gust, you're going over, right? And so, it's you guys, you got to pay attention to the weather. And where the hell did my chat go? I lost my chat, dang it. Maybe having it, oh, what the heck? Why did I lose my chat? Anyone tell me why I lost my chat? I lost my chat. Let's go here. Restore chat. Now I'll bring chat back out again. Pop out chat. I want the chat right here. And it's, the YouTube one, that's why. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Yeah. So guys, don't worry about, I shouldn't say don't worry about. Make sure you're paying attention to wind advisories, guys. It doesn't take a huge gust of wind that's going to get you over. If you're running light, or you're empty and you're going across, let's say, Oklahoma or or some of the nice big wide open spaces even in Texas, where there's just open field, there's no windbreaks like forests and trees and stuff like that. I mean, everyone should be running a weather app on their phone, number one, or their tablet or whatever, and you should be constantly checking it. Not just snow and ice. These aren't just the only hazards out there. Wind is a huge thing, and these trailers are so freaking light now compared to how they used to be. And even at then, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I've come across Oklahoma, Burns Flat, Oklahoma. We used to do a fairly, well, I shouldn't say fairly regular. We had a customer that we went there quite often with. And going there, we were super, super heavy. We were always about 42,000 pounds in the box. It was chewed up textiles. And then we'd have to come back into Oklahoma City to reload. And that's a pretty big stretch between Burns Flat and Oklahoma City there of a lot of openness. And there were many times where I'd get hit with some wind gusts. And there was one time in particular, buddy was following me, and I felt it hit me, and you could feel the truck leaning, but I didn't really think much of it. He told me my freaking trailer wheels were off the ground on the one side. They'd come off a few inches. So, that could have been potentially dangerous. But yeah, you gotta friggin' watch the wind, guys. Watch the wind, please, 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 because I don't want to see a story here from one of you guys that, hearing one of you guys going over and something bad happened like that, going into the water. I mean, freezing cold temperatures, bad enough that you go over on your side and you're in a ditch or whatever, the injury or damage you can get from that to yourself. But not only that, but to end up plunging into the water, seeing that coming at you, oh man, I don't even want to talk about that. That's horrid, horrid, horrid. Okay, so another thing on the roads, guys, got to be aware of, got to watch. I'm going to bring this up. This is bonehead moves, and we're not talking truck drivers. We're talking the four-wheelers, guys. I'm seeing this more and more out there. And I'm going to try to see, was this going to let me put this up on big screen here? Here, we get this up. Whoop. We're going to put this down like this, and we're going to, I know you guys are going, what the frick? Now I just went and screwed it up, didn't I? Oh, Lord, let's bring this back up. Okay, so we're going to go to the share button again. Screen. I pressed screen share, damn it. Let's bring up our next news story, big thing. And you see this on YouTube all the time. Let's just go to full screen because I want you guys to be able to watch this, okay? Like, really bonehead moves here. Let's just watch as this goes here. Now, okay, he's a little close, but watch this, watch this, watch this. It's going to get good. It's going to get good. I mean, seriously. Really? Well, hold on here. Let's go back here. What the fuck moment? I mean, no words can freaking describe this. This has got to be, and okay, the webcams sit higher. So the reality of it is where the driver's sitting in his cab, he wouldn't have even been able to see the taillights of that car. Okay. The webcam doesn't really show the true picture. It actually shows more visibility than what the actual driver can see. And the way this car came over, I mean, look how close this is. From the driver's point of view, he never saw those friggin' taillights. And this guy, that's a Lincoln. It's a fucking Lincoln. So the guy's obviously got more money than he's got friggin' brains because he sure as hell don't know how to drive it. And he's just wanting to friggin' wreck that, $80,000, $90,000 friggin' car there. Holy moly's, crappers, snappers, Batman, that was friggin' close. And you see it all the time on YouTube. You go through it. So, guys, you got to keep your head on a swivel. Okay? I mean, if you're not on the swivel, man, this shit's going to eat you up. I mean, we see it all the time. Trucks running into cars and shit like that because of the bonehead moves they do. There was another video out there, and I don't have it here in front of me on YouTube, where a car pulled in front of the big truck into the fast lane. The truck was in the fast lane driving, and the car pulled in because all of a sudden he decided he had either missed his exit or whatever. you know how they have the U-turns in the middle of the highway there that are meant for emergency vehicles and police and whatnot. Well, this freaking numbskull decided he was going to try to pull a U-turn there and just hit the brake and, went to make his turn there. And then the truck just ended up running into the back of him. So absolutely friggin' ludicrous what some of these four-wheelers are doing lately. I mean, they've always been stupid. Well, let's face it. Stupid is as stupid does, and four-wheelers there's a lot of them out there. And what gets me is there's another story on here, and we won't really get into it, but it says, FHP's commercial vehicle enforcement. I don't know, where's that from? Florida Highway Patrol. There's a lot of aggressive highways or drivers in Florida. They're targeting aggressive drivers. This is Florida's Highway Patrol commercial vehicle enforcement. It means they're going after the truckers. Now, yes, okay, I agree. There are some truck drivers out there that drive like absolute idiots and need to be gone after. But you know what? I think there's way more four-wheelers that we need to worry about than some of these truckers. And I like what Graham put here. Maybe he was late for his own funeral. It's always possible. But yeah, this shit happens all the time, these stupid people. So, and a lot of people say, oh, well, that's why we got to have a dash cam. Yes, to protect yourself, most certainly. But you guys got to watch, man. You got to constantly watch these cars coming up behind you. Every time you come near an exit, be aware of what's passing you, because they want to race up past, instead of, slowing down and just pull in behind you and then get off the exit, which would be the common sense and sensible thing to do, the safe thing. No, they got to just keep on hammering in that hammer lane, get by you, and then, oh, look, there's my exit. And not even pay attention to the fact that they just passed an 80,000-pound truck barreling down the highway at 65 miles an hour. And they usually go for the brake, too, to get over there. And it's like, no brains. No fucking brains. These four-wheelers, I swear to God, I like to throttle a whole pile of them. Next story that I want to cover, and this is a bonehead trucker move. Absolute bonehead trucker move, guys. There are no words to describe this. I unfortunately cannot. I'm trying to see if I can make this bigger for you guys to see, because it's actually a really small. We'll do it like this. Okay, here we go. Let's get ready to go this next one here. You guys are gonna like this, okay? This is running on a loop. I'm just waiting for it to start here. Here we go. All right, so let's take a look here. Check this out. The guy's out of the truck, unhooking the airlines. They weren't even unhooked yet, and he has to get. I mean, look where this truck's heading, man. Okay, number one, how in the fuck do you get out of your truck and not set the brakes? I, honest to God, don't get this. I mean, okay, he's dropping the trailer, clearly, so he obviously pulled the red valve for the trailer. Or at least I would hope he did, like, to release his air. Why wouldn't he pull the yellow one? Like, I was always under the impression, and I've been driving a long time, every time I pulled my red one, the yellow one came out with it in my trucks. Now, this is an older Pete, by the looks of it. I can't remember in the old ones if you were able to just pull the red one. Like, I know I could pull the red one if I kept my thumb on the yellow one and I pulled the red, that the yellow would stay, the plunger would stay in. As long as you had a little bit of pressure on it when you were pulling the red, it wouldn't pop. But I remember always when you pull the red one, if you didn't have any pressure on the yellow one just automatically popped. I could be wrong. I mean, I know I've only been off the road for just over a year, but I was pretty sure on my Kenworth that's what it did. But anyways, okay, so let's look at this though. Let's analyze this picture. Number one, it's a Pete. No, nothing against that. It's an older Pete. But this just goes to show for the mindset of the safety minded individual that this is. He might be a local guy. I don't know. But look at the back of the truck. Number one, no mud flap on the left side. No mud flap hanger or even mud flap. Well, never mind the mud flap, but no mud flap hanger even on the right side. This, in my opinion, is probably a company truck, or a smaller, mom, pa, local type company. Definitely unpolished tanks in this. So it's not an owner operator who takes a little bit of pride in his vehicle. I don't believe it. That's what it looks like to me. I could be wrong. And I'm jumping to conclusions here. But when I drove truck, whether I was a company driver, owner operator, if something fell off my truck and needed replacing, it got replaced. Even mud flaps. Mud flaps, that prevents stones and shit like that from coming up. And I've had it happen where I've had stones come up and take out the windshield of a car behind me. So the mud flaps are help for that. But irregardless, this tells me it's either a company, if he's a company driver, that likes to take shortcuts, B, an owner operator that likes to take shortcuts. It doesn't really need fixing, so we won't fix it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just being fussy. Whatever. Call me an asshole, but I don't know. I don't put too much faith into this truck and company, and even this driver, for that matter, for not setting his brakes. Like, and he's obviously on a downhill slope, because I mean, look at the speed that this thing goes. Okay, so we've showed that enough. That's just freaking crazy. Guys, especially you new drivers, please, set your damn brakes. Pay attention to what you're doing when you're parking and stopping and whatnot. What's Mary? Mary says pre-1999 trucks don't have the double action air valves, so you have to pull the yellow and push the red separate. Okay. And like I said, it's been a while and I couldn't remember. I just, all my recent trucks, I popped that red one to release the air out of the trailer. The yellow one always popped with it. But yeah, okay. I mean, that makes sense. All right. So he pulled the red, he didn't pull the yellow. But again, it's in the mindset. Like, what the heck? Why wouldn't you set your trailer park brakes? It would only make sense to me. I mean, he was lucky he got in there. Look, he could have freaking taken out two cars and then some, and whatever was beside them, because that thing was freaking catching up some pretty good steam there. But we see this posted all the time. I've seen it in my Facebook group in Big Rig Talk. I see it, on the different trucker forums, bonehead trucker forums, the ones that they specifically look for pictures about stupid shit that drivers do. These are the same people that say, "Oh, well, truck drivers should stick together." They never stick together. We used to help each other, but yet you're the first one to, bash them and put stupid shit up. But even that's a separate story. But guys, I mean, I don't. This is trucking school 101, for God's sakes. This is not, something you learn 10 years down the road. It's really, I mean, come on, guys. Anyways, the dog behind me is looking for some guinea pig. Was my dog at the guinea pig cage? Maybe he was hungry. I don't know. I didn't even notice. I didn't even look in the thingy here. Well, that's the thing too, Mary. I don't get this, because I know when you run bobtail, you have to have the mud flaps. If you got a trailer on, you don't. If the trailer's on all the time, you don't need the mud flaps as long as you're attached to a trailer, technically. But let's face it, this truck obviously is going to be running bobtail because he's dropping his freaking trailer. Now, he may be hooking onto another trailer immediately to pull out of there. I don't know. But anyways, it just, what? This is a company I would not work for. I don't know the company. I'm just looking at the condition of this truck. If this is a company truck, I mean, that just tells me it's a company that likes to take shortcuts. It doesn't need to be fixed to roll down the road, so we're not going to fix it. That's the type of attitude I'm seeing here. Maybe I'm reading into this wrong. I don't know. But that's kind of the thing I've feeling I've got on this one. And so, anyways, bonehead move from the trucker, and we see it all the time where the trucks at the truck stops, the guys get out, and the trucks roll off the fuel island, or they're in a parking spot and they roll back, and all of a sudden you see pictures online of the trailer down in the gully behind the parking lot, or shit like that. So anyway, That really irks me. I'm just trying to see here. I'm just looking through some of these news stories here. Another lawsuit against Swift, apparently. Swift short mile class action suit moves forward. I don't even know what that's about. And it's an 80,000 member. How can it be an 80,000 member class act? They don't have 80,000 employees. So, I mean, it's backdating that many freaking people here. Like that. Now it's got my curiosity up. Suit alleges that Swift failed to pay drivers for all miles they drove. Wow. Lawsuit filed in 2004. Wow, and it's been going on this long? Does not credit employees for the miles that they actually drive from one location to another. Suit claims that drivers were shortchanged pay for up to 140 miles because of the calculation system, the class action. Okay, well, that's normal. I was pretty sure that, I don't know why that one's in the news now, because I thought that was one that was resolved a while ago. But apparently this was just a decision, in July 2015, Arizona court stalled the lawsuit by decertifying the class, and appeals court reversed that. Oh, so the appeals court. See, I thought I'd read something about that a while ago, a long time ago. So, okay, apparently it went to appeals court, and appeals court said, nope, yep. They denied the reversal and saying, yep, you can go ahead and sue. So drivers who were employed by Swift from 1998 until the present date and were paid by the mile could be eligible to join the class action suits. I'm just letting you know, if that's you, go check it out, man. You might want to look into that to get some serious back pay there, because that drives me nuts. Now, okay, I know in past videos I've said, I won't say I've supported Swift, but I've, kind of defended them in some senses with some stuff and whatnot, and it's pissed a few people off, but who gives a fuck, right? Get your big boy pants on if you don't like some of the stuff. But whatever the case is, but there are a bunch of things that Swift does that drives me nuts, and it is the big company mentality and stuff like that. Shortchanging drivers, I've never agreed with. I've never agreed with this paying drivers shortest mile, which was a big thing. Companies that pay their drivers for the out of the household movers guide. Those are freaking air miles, man. And I'm sorry, I don't drive air miles. I drive on the fucking ground. But that's why I'm a big advocate for the European system. Pay our drivers a salary, man. Either hourly or salary. That's the way it's got to be. This per mile thing is archaic and needs to be changed. We need to come up. The trucking industry needs to come up with a better a pay system for us. Michael Knopfsinger, holler out when it's Q&A time. It's always Q&A time. Do you have any advice for new Celadon drivers? Well, what kind of advice are you looking for, Dixie fellow? Okay, well, let's talk about Celadon, since that was the last company I worked for, and this is one of a recent question here, because we're into the beginning of the second half of the show now. I'm going to open up the thingy here, the Google Hangout thing. I'm going to get the link here, and I'm going to post it on. I don't know if I can do it here in chat. I'm going to see here, but yeah, I'll give you guys a chance to call in. I want to test a few things out. I think I've got it set up right. I'm not sure here. Hold on. Let me. I've got the control room open. What is it? Do I need to draw? No. Google Effects. No. Cameraman. Yeah, I need that. Yes and yes for those. I think that's how that works. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm doing the monkey thing here, aren't I? So if I do the share thing, share the permanent link bookmark and come back anytime. What? Oh, those if I want to do people. Well, I'm going to try this. Copy. And we're going to get into this Q&A here for the second half. I'm going to put this in the chat, see if it works. So anyone who wants to come in, can come in. You don't necessarily need to have a camera. What? I said close, you little bugger. So you can come in. You do have to have a mic. Obviously, you just can't come in to be sitting there for the sake of sitting there. And you can ask questions. Okay. You are immediately when you come in, you are muted. So don't think something's wrong with your system or anything like that. I have to actually unmute you. And when I do, then, I'll let you know. But we're going to go to a Q&A portion. The second half of the show is going to be talking to you guys. You can talk about whatever you want. You can ask questions. You can shoot me off some show ideas. If you want to see video, I'm in the process. One of the things I want to do is I've already gotten permission from Allie Knight, although I want to touch base with her again because it's been a while. I want to talk to TJ, all the YouTube truckers, because I want to do little bits and pieces here and there on the YouTube truckers. So, we're going to do segments of that. But let's get right to the first one. We're going to put Michael, as soon as I can get him. I don't know what's going on here. What the heck? Michael does. Oh, was that thing? Hold on here now. I guess that doesn't work the way I wanted it to. So let's do no here, no here. We'll go back to the control room. I don't know why the camera's doing that. I'm trying to get Michael in here, guys. Just bear with me. It doesn't want to let me unmute him right now. And we got Stance Merca in here, but I can't unmute him. I can mute and unmute me, but for some odd reason, I can't unmute Michael. I don't know what the deal is there. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to say, Michael, come on back in because I've changed my settings there. Same with you, Merca. I've put you out. Just come on back in. How is your bus driving? How your injury doing? Well, I didn't have an injury. I had a. See, you can see it right there. I'll just show you. I'm not stripping, but I'm just showing you the start of it. And it's like this wide because it opened up way back when. But yeah, I had the open heart surgery. Does he not have a mic? Well, that's why I'm wondering if maybe he didn't have a mic. And if you don't have a mic, you can't come in, guys. You got to have a mic. I know he had a webcam because I could see it in the background, but I had it disabled. So here comes John. John's mic is open. His webcam is off, so that's good. That's what I want. How's it going, John?
Does it work?
Yes, it's working. We can hear you. And how are you doing?
Good. I had to unmute my own mic to get that.
Yeah, that's fine. I think they're supposed to come in muted. But I can hear me in the background though. So you're gonna have to mute your stream that you're watching there.
Yeah.
While you're on here. But so how's it going, John?
Good.
Good. So, any suggestions for the show? What are you liking? What do you want to see? What do you don't want to see?
Oh, we know what we don't want to see.
Well, okay, but you gotta look at my ugly face. It's part of the show, right?
Oh.
So, what part of the country in, and what do you do, and tell everyone who you are.
Oh, Northwest Ohio, and just sit on the couch all day, watch your videos.
Oh, that's the perfect job, right? If you're watching me, hey, the heck, you can't ask for better, right?
Yeah.
Although it gets to a limit, and so Stance is just putting in comment. Hi, I'm not allowed to join. You can join, Stance, but you do have to have a microphone. Okay, so you can come in, but I couldn't unmute your mic, so I had to kick you out because maybe it's because I changed the settings that you couldn't get your mic to work or whatever. Same with Michael. So you can come back in. Just go ahead and click the link from earlier. We're going to repost the link here for those that are in chat. It says it won't let him back in. Don't know why. My apologies. Any Cannabis says which state has the best lot lizards? Don't know. I didn't think there was such a thing as good lot lizards, bad lot lizards. Like, I mean, why would you even ask that question? I know it's a joke, but really, I mean, come on, seriously. So anything new and exciting to report, John? Did we lose John? Oh, we lost John. All right, so John dropped off, but that's okay. It's open for anyone else that wants to jump in. Cannabis says refresh web browser. Yeah, so Michael refresh the web browser. I need to go back up and found because he had put something here. Where is it? Michael says, making them what? CR England is in trouble for not having room for their trainees and then charging them for CDL school and making them lease not enough company driver slots, but them giving them no freight to move. Well, that's normal for CR England. England, and there was one other one out there that was doing that. I think it was just CR England. I'm not sure. There might have been a second company. And this is what I got to tell drivers. A lot of companies are saying, yeah, come in, we'll give you free training, but you have to lease one of our trucks. That would be the biggest mistake anyone ever made is to their first time in trucking to lease a truck. I don't understand why anybody would even agree to that. Like, come on, people. Like, let's use our business sense and brain of knowing that that this is not a good thing. I'm just looking at the news story, and I'm actually the stories that I've brought to you today. I've gotten off of CDL Life. This is a great place for news and information, guys. But I just saw a picture of Jay Cannell on here. What's this video? Veteran trucker gives new drivers the best advice we've heard. For anyone thinking of entering the trucking industry, well, I'll have to take a listen to that later. We're not going to put that up here right now. But let's see. Gaydord says hello. John says link works. All right, so let's see what else do we want to talk about, guys. Come on, chime in. We got a lot of people here today, and I really appreciate that, guys. The floor is open if you guys want to jump in with just to say hello, just to chat, just to tell us your CB handle, or give us some suggestions, comment on the stories that I've already talked about. I'm just looking at some more stories here. I didn't do a lot of preparation just because yesterday was such a disaster as far as Big Hoss is in the house. Hello, Hoss.
Hello, can you hear me?
Of course. Well, yes.
Okay. Well, no, this is actually Michael. It wouldn't let me back in under my other account. I don't know if it was because of the kick. And so I actually had to log into one of my other accounts. So
okay. Well, that's kind of weird. I hadn't intended it to be a kick. It's just because I had set my settings here to mute the mics when people come in, and I was clicking on the mic, clicking on it, and it wouldn't unmute it.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
It was my settings. KSW, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you too. So welcome to the show. You are live. So first we'll go to Big Hoss here. Tell us who you are, what you do, and
well, I am a 33-year-old. I work in at a medical device company in document control, but I'm actually leaving to go to CDL school in 2 weeks.
Oh, awesome! So what area? Like what? Are you going on with a company?
Yeah, I'm
trucking company or what?
I'm gonna go through Rails, get your CDL program, and work in their van national fleet. I hail from Texas, so
awesome.
I'll be going to school there, and then hopefully, get started in trucking.
Great, glad to hear it. So You're gonna get onto over the road? Are you going regional? Or you?
It'll be over the road, at least for the first year.
Yeah.
That's kind of my wife and I over the years. You know, we make trips to Michigan at least 4 or 5 times a year because that's where my family's from. So we keep talking every time we go up there about, when we retire, let's retire and be truck drivers so we can kind of see the country. And so I was like, I was thinking about it, and no time like the present to chase your dreams.
Well, yeah, definitely. And trucking is a great second career. Uh, Dixie, if you could mute your mic there. I think I just turned his volume down. Just because I don't know why it's not letting me mute. Just because he had a lot of background noise there. But anyway, yeah. So second career for trucking is a lot of people do it. I get asked the question all the time. I'm 50 years old, 55 years old. I'm thinking of getting into trucking, and a lot of people do it where their husband, wife, just the husband drives, the wife, tags along type deal, or sometimes they team. Although, if you're trying to see stuff, I wouldn't recommend teaming. Super single is not a bad idea. Where you can run up to, what is it, 15 or 16. Well, one can run the 11, one can run 5, or 10 and 5, or whatever it is. But you can get some decent miles that way. But yeah, it is a good way to see the country as far as the highway perspective goes. You don't
Yeah.
always have a lot of time to go sightseeing, although if you plan your trips accordingly and you get on with a good company, when you say, well, I'd like to get down to, I'm just going to use this as an example. I want to go down to Laredo, or I want to go to Dallas, for example. So in the next couple of weeks, can you guys sort of get me going towards Dallas where I can, take a weekend off and we can go sightseeing, and I've seen a lot of guys, what they do is they'll go to a city like Dallas or plan it for around one of the truck shows or festival or whatever, and they'll park at the truck stop and they'll go rent a car. They'll take their 36, but they'll extend it to like for a whole weekend or whatever, and they'll take rent a car and go driving around and checking out things. And it's a really good way to actually do things because you're going to get paid to go from point A to point B. So in a semi-retirement standpoint, it's a great way to go traveling on somebody else's dime
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
and make some
Go.
money in the process.
Oh yeah, yeah. My one big question for you is, now I've watched your videos as far as what you should have in the truck with you.
My apologies.
If if you had to pick 5 things for somebody just coming in, those first 5 things that you should get when you first are assigned your truck, starting
Okay,
from scratch, what would you choose?
so you mean after your training is done, you're now given a truck and it's like, here you go, this is your truck. Now you're going to go solo. You want to know what to bring.
Yeah, what are the 5 main things that you probably use the most on the road?
Okay, well, it's not what you use the most. It's what's the biggest necessity, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Okay. And the biggest necessity, because when you're first starting off, money is going to play a factor. I don't care who you are. I mean, if you got money in the bank, that's great. But until you start getting those few paychecks in and whatnot, and if you want to actually make money on the road versus, spending money, a cooler. Number one, a cooler. If the truck is not equipped with a fridge, now a lot of the newer trucks nowadays are equipped with fridges, which is great. If they're not, for whatever reason, investing in a good cooler is a good idea. Now, we're not just talking the $99, $120 coolers that you pick up at the truck stops, the 12-volt ones, but I would look into, now I forget the name of them, and these things are not cheap. I've seen them at the truck shows and whatnot, but they can act as either a freezer or a refrigerator. The quality is much better, less chance of them breaking down. They're anywhere from $300 to $500 depending on the size. And I'll have to relook it up. I did it when I did a video specifically on this. I think when I was at it was either Matt's or Gat's. I can't remember which one it was, and I did those videos. But I did show off these coolers. I think it might have been Gat's. But these things are way better than the truck stop coolers that you're going to see and get. And so one of these investments needs to be a way to refrigerate food. Secondly, is a way to cook it. Now, this could probably take up a couple items. Well, number one, I suggest a Burton stove to go, lunchbox stove, which either or they work. Yes, they'll burn out fairly quick in some cases, or you might get lucky and get a really, really good one that lasts you years and years and years. I've had a lot of good luck, and I've also had one that burnt out within 6 months. But given the cost of them and the amount of food that you can cook in them over time, I mean, they pay for themselves just within a very short period of time. They're like, what, 30, 40 bucks. So when you break it down, if you cook a meal in them, every night in the truck for a month, they're paid for.
Right.
It's a buck a day at that point, is the cost of it, and then they're paid for. So a little Burton stove to go, which you might want to look into. Now, I had an Element one, which was the single burner, plug into an inverter type deal. If your truck is equipped with an inverter, obviously, or a big enough inverter. The other one are these induction cooktops or whatever, where you can touch them and you don't burn yourself or shit. I don't know how they work, but these cool top things. They don't actually have an element on them. They're a little bit probably safer for in the truck. They're a little bit more expensive. I know Walmart carries them. I paid I think less than 20 bucks, 15 bucks for my single burner. It might have been even 10 bucks. I don't know. Single burner stove to, put a fry pan on or a pot or whatever. These other ones, I think they're closer to 100 bucks up here in Canada. I don't know what they're in the US. It could be cheaper. You can get them at Walmart. But they're a little bit safer due to the fact that they don't actually have a heating element itself. It's like an induction type stove. I don't know how they work, but anyways, they're kind of cool. It was one of the things I was going to invest in had I stayed on the road. But so there's that. Now, if your truck does not come with an inverter, you're definitely going to want to get yourself a small inverter, 400 to 800 watt inverter that plugs in via the cigarette lighter. Now you got to keep in mind, the higher the inverter, the wattage, the more juice it's going to suck. And sometimes those 12 volts, they'll allow you to pull it at first while the truck's running or whatever, or for the first few minutes, but all of a sudden your low battery alarms are going to go off because these things suck too much. So I'd say about a 350, 400 watt. They're not going to power anything big. However, laptop, computer. Now, I don't know how much you're into computers, but it is a great way for entertainment. You can get internet, so you can do email, Facebook, whatever. B, you can watch movies. So you've got a TV and a computer all in one shot there, as far as that goes. Plus, it's a good way to keep track of any expensing, reporting, things like that. Companies that use TransFlow, for example, there is an app that you can put on your computer. If you get yourself a little scanner/printer, they're not that expensive. And you can scan your stuff into your computer, and you can also send bills off to your company that way, provided the truck doesn't already come with that. I mean, our trucks, when I was at Celadon, and they've only recently did it for the Canadian division. I think the US division had them already, but we had the in-cab scanners all of a sudden, so it was easy enough to scan through them. But before that, I used my computer to scan in my bills so that I could get paid right away. Let's see, what else is there? Important stuff to bring. Obviously, clothes, bedding, we're probably going to go over this 5 list, but I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? Bring a sleeping bag or blanket. I didn't like sleeping bags. A lot of drivers bring sleeping bags. I wanted sheets, so I always had a fitted bottom sheet for the bunk, and then just a regular sheet and blankets, pillows, everything that says home. Sleeping bag is a camping trip out, whereas sheets and blankets are, you're in your home. And I've had drivers say, "Oh, I refuse to make the truck my home." Well, then you're just a friggin' idiot if you do that, because when you look at the amount of time you spend in the truck versus the time you spend at home, the truck is your home. Your home is your vacation spot. I know it sounds kind of weird, vacation spot, but really, you're 90% of your time is spent in the truck, unless you're a local driver, So why not make the truck like home? Personal items to dress up the truck to make it feel like home. That could have so many different ranges of things. You got to think storage. If there's going to be 2 of you in the truck, storage is going to become an issue. So this is where Rubbermaid becomes your best friend. and I'm just using Rubbermaid as the name because everyone knows Rubbermaid storage containers. I mean, Walmart, you can get other things than Rubbermaid. But look at your truck and then look at all the crevices, nooks, crannies, the little cubby holes, and what kind of container or setup can you put in there to, utilize that space in the best possible way. A lot of these company trucks, you'll get them, they'll have this big storage space, but no shelving or no cubby holes or whatever. It's just this big blank space. Well, what do you do with that, right? So this is where the containers come in handy. Bungee cords, big thing, bungee cords. Bungee cords, bungee cords, bungee cords. You can use them for everything. Duct tape. Bring duct tape. That's your emergency trucker fix it when you're on the road. Whether it be electrical, holding up hoses, you name it. Duct tape and bungee cords, you can put your truck back together and get it to the repair shop to get it fixed, right? So we've covered, for food, you've got the food, you've got the cooking, the way to cook it. Bring yourself a little folding table too. Some trucks have these little sliding shelves that come out of them. They're good in some senses, but at the same time, they're not necessarily good. So a little folding table could be good that you can get at Walmart for, I've seen them at Walmart for like $10. You can get the wooden ones. I think they're maybe a little bit more. So that's always a good thing to get. Something else too, summertime, if you're traveling in the South, get yourself a little hibachi barbecue or whatever, or get one of them little portable ones. Now be careful. A lot of guys make the mistake of getting the propane ones. So remember, in the truck, you can only carry those little 2-pounder things, the little green camping propane things. And, you want to store it underneath the bunk, not inside. And even at that, be careful with the heat on those because, they can explode. Anything flammable obviously can, right? So do not carry anything bigger than those little 2-pounders. I liked the little Burton cooking, and you can get them. It's not just Burton. Coleman has them, the little single burner or double burner camping stoves. Those are another great one too, because you can use either the little 2-pounder canister or there's some out there, the single burner, that you can use butane. And butane's a lot easier to store underneath. My little camping one that I had for a while there that I showed in my videos, I think I got at least 10 to 12 cookings out of one can. And as long as you're careful not to just, put it on high heat and, you'll burn off that can, no problem. But if you keep it always at low heat, you'll minimize what you're using. So other than that, it's just a collection over time. Pillows. Pillows is a big thing. And a lot of people don't think of it. Pens, stationery, pens, paper, stapler, things like that. You might want to also consider your cell phone for Wi-Fi. Because you're not always going to have. Now, the internet has improved big time at the truck stops from drivers that I'm talking to. Since I've come off the road, Pilot Flying J has revamped their internet. Now, whether it's been revamped at all their locations, I have no idea. But I know they've come out with a new system, and it's way better than what it used to be. It's an expanded signal also, so that it works better at some of the truck stops. Because if a lot of you guys who've been out there know, you get all the way into the back or even the middle, unless you're up in the front row, you couldn't really get internet. But a lot of them have expanded now. So the internet is much better and it isn't expensive. You figure a Pilot Flying J, for example, they're combined. So you buy their monthly internet service. You can pay it yearly, you can pay it monthly, you can pay it daily. Daily, I don't recommend because it's kind of just a waste of money. You're going to throw your money away. I do have a donate button there in the description somewhere, and you can just, send it to me. I'm quite happy with that. And it might improve the content of the show here because I can afford to buy, little gadgets and make things look exciting or something. I don't know, whatever. I'm just grasping at straws here. So, but yeah, internet's a big thing on the road. So now what happens if you're in places that don't have truck stops? You're out in the western part of the country, the Midwest, where you don't necessarily have Flying J's pilots all over the place, TAs, whatever. Maybe you want to look into an AT&T hotspot or something like that, or whatever. You have to look at where you're going to be traveling most of the time, and the service area. Like AT&T was great for me for where I traveled. Pretty much had internet anywhere. Didn't matter where I was. I just popped up my little hotspot thingy, which I have somewhere here. I think it's over there actually, because I pulled out some of my trucking stuff. I was going through it. So, look at your cell phone provider. Make sure you have good cell phone coverage for the entire country. You have some cell phone providers that are great for in your city where you are, and they offer you this, fantastic $35 a month, unlimited talk, unlimited this, unlimited that, unlimited data. Well, unlimited data is never really unlimited data. Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you that right now. You guys better read the fine print of the fine print of the fine print, okay? 9 times out of 10, that unlimited data is for 4, 5, 6 gigs, 2 gigs, whatever. You're going to have to read the fine print. Everyone's a little different. And then after that, it drops, and that's, 2, 6 gigs roughly of, 5G, 4G, whatever. But then after that, it drops you to 2G service, which you won't even be able to open up a freaking Facebook page hardly. So, guys, read the fine print. Never believe this unlimited data bullshit that they put out there. It's a friggin' salesman scam. Yes, it is unlimited, but at a reduced service. So be careful there. So make sure you guys got yourself set up. Flying J Pilot used to be $20 a month. What it is now, I don't know. Maybe it's $24 a month. Look into it. It's not bad considering there's pilots flying J's pretty much everywhere across the country in the US and now in Canada too. I mean, well, not now, it's been for a while, but pretty much all across Canada from Ontario west. Every major city, has flying J's, stops in them. Pilots kind of moved out. Pilot came in. They had like 1, 2 locations, I think. Sorry, try there. Anyway, whatever. So, and so it's just flying J here, but like you got, Winnipeg's got a couple, working your way west, in Saskatchewan, they got a bunch, Edmonton, Calgary. I don't know if there's anything out in Vancouver. I don't remember, but I know, from Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, there's flying J's. Okay. So not in some of the remote areas, but as long as you're on the main corridors, you're going to have the flying J's there. So even you buy the service in the US, it works up here. It's the same account, so it's good. It works. At least it did. I don't know if it still does. Other than that, yeah, that's about it, guys. I mean, you got to think common sense for what's important for you to have on the road. Make sure you have about 2 weeks of clothing. Just because you're not going to necessarily want to stop at a truck stop and do laundry every week. It's a pain in the ass, trust me. So if you're planning your home time every 2 weeks, now I know a lot of you guys in the US, you guys run longer periods, 3, 4, 6 weeks, whatever. So you're obviously going to get stuck doing laundry. So make sure you have laundry soap. What I suggest is buy the big mega jugs. They're the best savings, the best value for your dollar. Keep it at home. Carry yourself 1 or 2 of the smaller, the little ones, and just fill them up. When you get home, top them off, put them in the truck, and then that way it's much easier to carry in and out, and you're saving money. God, please don't buy the truck stop freaking laundry detergent and freaking soak out half your paycheck. You're washing your money away. So hopefully that answered that for you, Haas, there. Hopefully, for Michael. Let's see here. Let me go back to. We had a question here about Celadon and advice for starting off with Celadon. Okay, and it's not just Celadon. I gotta get caught up with the freaking chat here. Holy crap! Trucker Jace says he's using his phone. The bottom of YouTube, Jerry posted link here inside chat. Try scrolling up to see if it's what John clear the link. Jason will take you there. Does anyone know how to join this chat via Google Hangouts? Well, you're in the chat, so you're doing it through YouTube. I don't pay attention to the chat in Google Hangouts, so if you guys are chatting in Google Hangouts, guys, when you come in, try to mute your mic. I just muted Chris's. We'll bring Chris in here in a second. But Dixie Fellows there too. I don't know, Dixie. Do you have anything you want to throw in here? Any comments? Any chat? Anything you want to say hello? I'm looking here at the camera, and I got my screen over here. Doesn't look like Dixie's got much to say. I was just about to go to the other fellow that was in here, but he left. So we're going to go to, I don't know if the Dixie fellow there, he's not chatting, so I don't know what the purpose is of being in here, buddy. If you're not going to chat. Chris, we're going to say hi to Chris. Hola, Chris. And if you could just mute the video, Chris, and listen on the Google Hangouts, that way I don't get the double feedback here. And he muted himself. Okay, Chris, so I got to ask, guys, if you're going to come into the Hangout to chat, please chat with me. Okay, well, Chris, you got too much noise going on in the background there. I don't know what you got going on, but I'm going to have to... Oh, there. Now I've got Dixie's mic turned back up.
Yes, sir. I got hired on with Selling on Friday, and you know, I done a lot of research on them, and you know, I went out with my trainer yesterday, and I remembered I watched one of your videos when I got back into the yard, and it was actually very helpful for for what to expect in your first year as a truck driver.
Good.
So I mean that's one of the things I just like to say. I like how you do your videos.
I appreciate it. I wish I could still do more for as far as on the road goes. So that's why we're now, because I'm not on the road anymore, we're coming up with this format here. So you're at Celadon. You're in with a trainer now. I know they've got a weird program there, the way they do things. But how are you finding it?
I actually came in as an experienced refresher because I was with CR England for 3 months.
My apologies.
Yeah, I mean it was just a pain. Excuse my French, but pain in the ass. I mean it just they were paying me 14 cents, and that's not enough to be making a living over.
No.
And
one thing. Sorry, go on.
And I was when I signed up with my recruiter, and you know it's just she said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I would like to keep running reefers, but I'd like to be doing solo. So because I was teamed up with a guy that he didn't know what he was supposed to do.
It's always not good.
And I liked how I went out with. I went to Ohio yesterday with my trainer, because you have to do 1 to 3 days with a trainer if you're coming in an experienced refresher. And I actually found that the training at Celadon is really up there with one of the major trucking companies. So,
well, that's good to hear. I mean, I know we've had a lot of people that moan and groan and complain about either Celadon or any of the big companies. And what a lot of people don't understand is you got to remember, these are, I hate to use the term starter company, but that's pretty much what they are. These companies have gotten so big that they can't offer the mom and pop services, but they do have a lot of advantages to them. I've never had issues with their training, other than I think they could pay a little bit more, but at the same token, if you watch what you're doing, and just stay on top of them, you'll do just fine. Keep your expectations down a little bit, just because a lot of people, I see people, I expect to get 3,500 miles a week. Well, you're putting it up there a little high. Then in that case, you're going to want to work for a mom and pop company or a smaller company. You may have to bend the rules a little bit, but if you want to do stuff that's steady and have the support system there, some of the bigger companies might be better in that sense. But yeah, I did the video on their school. I think they've got a great school there. A lot of people don't understand, when you go to a trucking school, it's just to get your license.
yeah.
They're not there to teach you about being on the road. That's when you go out with a trainer. That's their job. And if that trainer's not doing that job, then you need to switch to a different trainer, or, you got to seriously question the company. And that's why I've never been an advocate for some of these companies that put new drivers with new drivers. I think that's the biggest mistake that ever could be made. And any new driver out there that accepts that is no better than that company, because you're not going to get any kind of quality training. And I know Celadon has some newer drivers as trainers, but they still have a little bit of experience under their belt as far as what they're doing. Plus, Celadon has a training school for the trainers, as far as I know. I've never been to it. I don't know what it's like. I don't know exactly what they teach the trainers to teach, but they have kind of like a curriculum that they say, hey, listen, this is what we want you teaching the new drivers or drivers that are going to go with you. So I think it's more of a practical, or not practical. What do you call it? Written, not written, whatever. Anyways, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're not out on physically doing this stuff. They're showing you this is, they've got like a booklet. This is their policies and procedures, if you will. This is what we want you training the guys, and they go over it step by step. And I think it's a 3 or 4 day course that you have to go to Indianapolis for, and the trainers to become a trainer. And they show you what they want you training the drivers at. And there's good trainers and there are bad trainers. It doesn't matter where you go. And under no circumstances ever should a trainer be in the bunk. Once they've been with you for a couple of weeks and you've been out and you've done some initial training, now I have different theories on that, but we're not going to get into that. I think Celadon has where you do X amount of, I don't know if it's hours or miles. I can't remember exactly. But
yeah, they said if you're a new guy or a new student just coming out of truck driving school and have your license, I've heard it was 10,000 miles.
Miles, okay, yeah, so 10,000 miles. That's actually technically it's a couple of months. I think as a student, yeah, I think it's like about 2 months worth as a student miles. Those are student miles. Where the trainer's in the passenger seat all the time, and then they start running you kind of teamish, if you will. And that I'm kind of okay with. Yes and no, depending on whether the trainee has gotten up to a certain level, not just the miles, but if their competency level is up there where I'm comfortable with them, because I was sure as hell have a hard time going in the bunk and sleeping with somebody brand new behind the wheel, that's for sure. So I don't understand how some of these guys do it. So anyways, so if you're a new guy and you're going on with a company and they say, yeah, we're going to put you in with a trainer, and you get in there and all of a sudden that trainer's in the bunk sleeping and you guys are running team, I'd be getting out of that truck fast and you can say boo. But yeah, I know Celadon's got a pretty decent little refresher course. If you keep your expectation to about a 2,500 mile a week average, you got to stay on them. You got to push. Say, hey, come on, let's go. Get me something. Big thing with Celadon, and a lot of guys miss this, is the computer dependency, the macro dependency for you, especially you're going to be on your own. Keep up on those macros. They call them macros. It's your canned messages. As far as updates is ETAs, your estimated time of arrival, your projected time available, hours you're going to have available, and all that stuff. If you stay on top of that, your miles are going to be somewhat decent. And I say somewhat because you're going to have good weeks, you're going to have bad weeks. So you're going to have to look at an average versus, well, this week I only did 1,500 miles. It sucks. And they, all the swearing and all this blah, 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 and trashing the company. I've seen guys quit after 2 weeks of being with the company and because they weren't getting the miles. Well, again, in trucking, especially a big company, you're gonna have a lot of up and down periods. So you're gonna have good weeks and you're gonna have bad weeks. I mean, I've had my best week at Celadon was I think it was around 4,200 miles, 4,300 miles. Phenomenal week. Just go like a bastard, right? And then I've had weeks where it was like 1,500, 1,800, kind of a crappy week, but got to put it all into perspective, right? It's at the end of the year what you're for us, it's the T4. I don't know what W-9 or whatever the heck it is you guys get in the U.S. Your tax return slip that the company gives you to say how much you made at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, I think it's W-9.
Yeah,
If I'm not
that's what matters.
mistaken.
That's what matters. What it says on that slip at the end of the year, and then you can look at what you did. You know, guys that quit after a couple of months because they're not having their hand held or they want to be a baby about stuff. Well, whatever. Um, Got to give it some time, and especially if you're new now. How much overall experience did you say you had at CR there?
I had excluding with a trainer, I had 3 months over the road.
So you're still technically you're still a newbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a newbie. So you know what? Before you make it now, you made the smart move. You went from CR. You went to Celadon. That's fine. You saw a bad situation. You said, okay, I got to move, go somewhere different, and that's what drivers need to do. I say I'm all for give it a chance, but there's just don't drag it out to the point where you're just going to end up hurting yourself as far as your record goes and whatever else. If you're not happy with the situation, move to the next one. Just go. There's so many jobs out there. When it comes to trucking, everybody and their Tom, Dick, and Boo is hiring. So, just get to the place that's going to make you happy. But remember, your first year is your toughest. You're I'm not going to advocate, being abused. Don't let yourself get abused by a company. Stand up for yourself. However, you got to put in the time. That's how it is. When you go to work at a restaurant, you don't start off as head chef, right?
No, you gotta start off as a busboy.
Yeah, you start off as a busboy or a dishwasher, and you work your way up, man. I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. Okay, you start off as a line cook or whatever, but you're not going to start off at the top, and that's how it is in trucking too. Now, the one thing that disappoints me with the trucking industry is, the guy that's only been in the trucking industry 3 years can pretty much make as much money as a guy that's been in the trucking industry for 30 years. So it is a very short window to where you can get yourself up there. But then there's no, comparison as far as when it comes to experience. I've had guys in a recent argument say, "Oh, I've only had 2 years experience," or I'm 2 years on the road, and you can't tell me you with 30 years is better than me. Well, okay, as a person, maybe we're equal as people, but when it comes to driving down the road and experiences and knowing how to react and knowing what to expect, what to look for, the guy with 30 years experience is going to be a much more proficient driver than a guy with 2 years experience, right? And one thing advice I want to give you, if an experienced driver comes up to you and offers to help you back into a spot or sees that you're struggling or you're struggling, having a hard time, don't wait until something bad happens. Okay? Don't be afraid to go knock on somebody's door if you see somebody sitting in a truck near you and say, "Listen, buddy, I'm new. Can you help me?" Don't be afraid of that. A lot of new guys are afraid of it. They think they need to act cool behind the wheel. "I'm the big badass trucker, man. I can do this. I don't need anybody stinking help." And then meanwhile, the hood gets ripped off. Mirrors get ripped off. There's way too much of that going on, and I think it's all. I don't want to trash on the millennials, but a lot of it is the millennials of the "I'm better than everyone" attitude that some of them seem to have, and I don't need your help. And I ran into that myself where I've gone to offer people help and had guys say, "Oh, I don't need your help. I know what I'm doing." And then meanwhile, there goes a friggin' hood mirror. And then they try to blame everything else but their driving. So anyways, my advice to you, whether it be Celadon or anyone else, any new company, take your time. Take your time, and don't over expect, too much. Just you're better off doing a little bit less miles, 2,500, 2,000, where you can actually take your time and learn the ropes versus having a company pushing you at 3,500, 4,000 miles a week where you got to run so hard you don't have time to think, you're exhausted, and that's when mistakes happen, right? If you're taking your time to do it and you can think things through, think each move through when you're backing into a spot, look at it, think it through, aim that trailer, get it going in the right spot. So you're not being rushed to get into a parking spot. You're not, so tired that you've just driven your max 14 hours. You're on paper logs. You've driven 16 hours because, you budget a little bit here and there. And you're just absolutely exhausted. And that's when hoods start getting ripped off and all that other stuff. So, I think, you've made a good choice. I don't know what Celadon pays for the new drivers. I know it's not top pay, but it sure as heck isn't bottom pay from what I hear from some of the companies. So,
Yeah, I think they said it was start off pay is 31 cents.
yeah, and it's not horrible. It's not the greatest pay. You're not going to become a millionaire, but at the same token, it's not horrible, you got to work your way up. You're not going to start off at that 45, 50 cents a mile. So, other than that, okay, so we got to wrap this up. I don't know, Trucker Jason, you're in the room. You want to take up the last spot here? Is there anything you want to say? Trucker Jason? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Trucker Jason. Trucker Jason. He's not answering. All right. Well, Dixie, I want to thank you for joining us here. That was great to have you on board. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Next week, we'll hopefully even improve it on it more. We're going to try to improve on it every week. Guys, I need your suggestions. What do you want to hear about? Did you like today's format? You like the first half being news stories, second half? Now, we went a little bit longer than, the second half here. Okay, I like this. I always get asked this question. Ricky Weaver says, how many years do you have to be considered experienced? At least 5. Once you got 5 years, 5 winters, 5 summers, 5 springs, 5 falls, you're now, I won't say a seasoned veteran, but you're now an experienced driver. Why? Because you've had the multiple winters, you've had the multiple, road conditions. You've been at that in 5 years as an over-the-road driver, unless you're restricted to East Coast or the South or the West or whatever. You've pretty much covered everywhere. You've pretty much in 5 years should have been by now into almost every general situation. You should have been through all the different varying types of snowstorms, weather, rain, hurricanes, you name it. You'll have in 5 years gone through all the different types of freight in your particular, obviously if you've done van for 5 years, you don't know reefer and all that and stuff like that. But you've got a really good general idea how things are going. And you now can consider you're not a rookie. Between anything over 2 years to 5 years, you're still a new driver. You're not a rookie anymore. The first couple of years, first year, 2 years, you're still in that rookie status. You're still new. You haven't experienced a lot of stuff. You may think you have, but you haven't. And from 2 to 5 years, you're kind of in between the rookie and the experienced guy. But once you hit that 5 years, man, you're now an experienced drivers, and it's downhill. I won't say downhill, but I'm downhill, that's for sure. But from here on in now, trucking is a never-ending learning experience. I got 28 years behind the wheel.
I was on.
And now I'm hearing somebody, but just give me a second here. We'll get to you. Yep. It's, you're still learning every day. 28 years down the road, I still learn stuff. And even though I'm not in trucking, but talking to you guys about new stuff and stuff that's going on, I'm still learning stuff. Okay. So you're always going to, the second you stop learning, the second you say, I'm fully experienced, I know everything, you are not a professional driver, in my opinion. Why? Because every day is a new learning experience. There's always going to be something new for you out there to learn. I don't care if you got 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 40 years, 100 years, whatever, it don't matter. There's always something new. The trucking industry is constantly changing with the rules, the laws, the equipment. There's always new and better and improved ways of doing things. So if you're not learning, just get out. Just go, park it, retire. Be me. We all want to be me, but we can't. But anyway, no, you know what I mean, guys. Come on, you're always learning. But yeah, as far as what point do I consider you an experienced driver? hit the 5-year mark. Once you hit that you come to me and say, man, I got 5, 6 years. Dude, you got experience. There is nothing I should need to be able to show you on how to drive, or, yes, I can give you advice as far as, hey, do it this. I do it like this. This might work better for you. Give it a try. That kind of thing. Okay. But as far as me coming up to you saying, dude, you're doing that wrong, you need to do it like this or whatever, I shouldn't have to do that. At 5 years, man, you should have that all down, especially when it comes to backing up and crap. But anyway, okay, so we're going to wrap this up with Trucker Jason, I believe, who's finally figured out that his mic is unmuted.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Jason. How's it going? Where are you at? I can tell by your video. You're in your truck, obviously.
Yes, I am. I am in Wisconsin right now on I-39.
I-39, cool, awesome. How's the weather up there?
I do see snow on the ground. I can say that much right now.
Yeah, there's snow on the ground up here too, and I don't want it. Kind of
I don't
yucky.
know if you, yeah, Jerry, I don't know if you've been down here in Wisconsin yet, but I'm coming upon Hancock, Wisconsin right now.
Oh, I've been every state and every major city across North America.
Yeah, I'm just passing mile marker 130, I-39 north.
Ah, you're on the move. He's doing the mobile thing. Well, I'm glad to see. I can see the Bluetooth. So before anyone chimes in and tries to say something, I can see Jason is on a Bluetooth because I can see it attached to his right ear. Yep, right there. Keep your eyes on the road.
As you see over my right shoulder, I am in my truck right there. So that's the curtain, by the way.
Yep, we can see that. Good deal. So, but anyway, Jason, I don't mean to cut you off short here. I'm glad you actually made it in. Appreciate it. We'll be back next week. So we definitely invite you to be back next week and chime in on some of the stuff. We are running up against the clock here. So we do have to bid everyone a fair adieu, a farewell. Fate, I'm not even going to touch that. If you were here in Ottawa with the Senators, I'd say I'd agree with you, but I'm sorry. Washington Caps? Really? Come on, man. Pick a real team. But anyways, we're not going to start a hockey debate and argument here. Trucker Jason and everyone else that joined us today, it's been, I think, a pretty good show. I really appreciate everyone being here today. Make sure you join us again next week. Safe travels to you, Jason.
All right.
Keep the shiny side up, and we'll talk to you next week. We'll talk to you during the week, maybe on Facebook there. So you take care, buddy.
I'll keep in contact on Facebook. I know that. I do have some free time coming up in about, I don't know, 2 hours.
Good deal. Good deal. So I'll probably be out because I got some errands to run here before the day is done. So, but yeah. So anyways, we'll talk to you later, Jason.
All right.
And for the rest of you guys, thanks so much for being here. I said it a few times now. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Be good. Be safe. Keep the shiny side up. Make sure to chime in on the replay when it's up. Send me those suggestions either through Facebook or whatever. Send me a PM. Get on the Big Rig Talk Facebook page. Do it. I know we're a little behind on accepting people. We only accept people. Well, I think Linda does it twice monthly now. She goes through the list and denies and accepts, denies and accepts. I'm not allowed to do it. I've been told. Anyway, so I know my eyes are over here because of my other control panels over here. So that's it. That's all, guys. Enjoy. Have a great Sunday. We'll talk to you next week. Be good.